Shalom, it's 21st of July 2020, Hebrews chapter 1, still in the topic of the basic theme of the superiority of the Son of God. He's greater than the angels, he's greater than Moses and Abraham and kings and authorities, and he's the true essence of the Father and the embodiment of the glory. Now those concepts comes from 3 Psalms. So basically the first, I think it's 9 verses in chapter 1 in Hebrews. Most of it comes from 3 Psalms. It's first Psalm 2, then Psalm 45, and then Psalm 102. Now Psalm 2 has got the context of the end times. That's where the kings of the earth and the people come against Yahweh, and where basically the authority of the king is established. That's where the Son is begotten. And it actually used the words, there's the decree, and that also reflects in Psalm 45. A decree was made. Now the term decree immediately jumped to the book of Esther, because there we mentioned a decree, and a decree is very important there, because the king made a decree, and if a king makes a decree, he cannot take it back. The word of the king is law. That's a kingdom principle. That's something that we don't understand living in a democracy. So the word of the king established the Son as the highest authority in the kingdom. Now the word Son is just the term or the function of Yeshua, just like Mashiach is the function of Yeshua. Yeshua is the embodiment of the Redeemer. Yahweh is salvation. That's his name that depicts that. So he's got multiple titles. So Yeshua is also just a title, if you like. A title that points to him as the Redeemer, as the Lamb, as the sacrifice. And it also connects to the high priest and the sacrificial system and the system of redemption and restoration. Now the king and the Son is 2 other discrete functions. Now the Son, bar, means to cleanse. It also means to come out from. It's a agricultural term where the seed sprout and it comes from the seed. The plant comes from the seed, and the seed is the origin of the plant that contains the DNA and everything that needs. I don't know if there's DNA in seed anyway, but the essence of what the plant is encapsulated in the seed. In the same way, the Son embodies the essence of the Father, and the Father is like the seed, the hidden part of Yahweh that contains the glory and the essence of what Yahweh is. And Yahweh is, like I discussed yesterday, the name that identify Yahweh and the Son. So the Son is Yahweh and the Father is Yahweh as well. The Father has got a function, the originator, the one where things originate from. The Son is things that is brought forth from the origin, from the originator. Henceforth the Son coming from the Father. But they are one, just like the seed sprout and become a plant. The seed does not detach at any moment as soon as the plant is growing and say, off you go, I'm going to just sprout another little plant over there. No, every seed's got its own plant and they're still connected. And they become part of the plant. In the same way, Yahweh is part of the Son as the Son sprouts within the physical realm. It's the embodiment and the fullness of the glory of the Father manifested in the physical through the Son. That is the terminology and the essence of the spiritual idea of the expression of Yahweh's glory, the expression of his essence and his presence in the physical realm is through the Son. So you cannot see the Father in the physical, in short. If you want to see the Father, you have to go to the spiritual, because the essence of the Father exists in the spiritual. It's like an upside down plant with a seed in the in the higher dimension, and the sprout of the plant growing down into the lower dimension. And it extends to us, and then we are grafted into that plant, that olive tree, and then we are part of Him, connecting back to the seed, back to the higher root, back to the Father, the originator and the origin of everything. And then we are part of Elohim, so to speak. So you are never a God like the ultra liberal, charismatic Christians believe. You are gods. No, we are not gods. You are an extension of the Father, being adopted or grafted in from an external source, becoming part of Him. But you did not sprout from Him like the Son sprouted from Him. You are external. Now, the external essence of the creation of man is found in Genesis, and that is done through the Spirit and the created matter called Eretz, or earth, where Yahweh breathes with His Spirit in the Eretz. So we are more Spirit than we are Father, so to speak. But the Spirit originates from the Father, and that's the connection. And the Son originates from the Father, which is the redemption and restoration process, which is also part of our creation. So we are a dead corpse. We need the Spirit. How do you get the Spirit? You need Mashiach. Mashiach then allows you to get the Spirit. And then the Spirit will then breathe His Ruach in you, and then you become a living nefesh. Not only a living neshama, not only a living nefesh. So part of the creation process is receiving the essence of the Spirit, which was summarized in Genesis with the creation of man. So we are just in a very long, extended creation process of humanity, if you like. Now back to Psalm 2, Psalm 45 and Psalm 102. It's all three of them are in time context. Psalm 102 very much linked to Psalm 2. It's about the judge, but it also deals with the creator, the one who laid the foundation of the earth, which refers to the term bar, or son, which is connected to bara, that means to create. Now Psalm 45 in the middle is about the gathering of the nations. It's about the bride. It's about the virgin ladies who accompanied the bride as she presents herself before the king in fine attire of gold and crushed dust. So she has the beauty and she's got the ashes, and that links to Isaiah 61 again. That links to the Mashiach, that links to the gathering of the bride, which is His bride. So they're all interconnected. So Psalm 45, which is in the middle of the quoting of Hebrews, deals with the bride, the end result, the feast and all that. Psalm 102 deals with the calamity on the earth, the destruction of Zion, and the longing for the restoration of Zion and the establishment of the kingdom and the coming and appearing of the king. Psalm 2 deals with the appointment, the decree of the king, who has an inheritance that is the land and all the nations. For a kingdom cannot exist without a king, without a land, and without a people, and without a government system. Now we do have a king, which is Yeshua, appointed, as Hebrews said, quoted from the Psalms. We've got an inheritance, which is the land and the generation. So we've got the peoples and the land. Also Psalm 102 identify the land as Zion. And then we have the government system, which is His Torah, which is not mentioned in this case. But that is symbolically referring to the covenant. The story about the covenant in Hebrews, the new covenant, the old covenant, and the disputes about how many covenants there are. It's all about the government system of the kingdom. So the core message of Hebrews is about the establishment of the kingdom. And if you jump to Hebrews 12, the language continues and ends with that same topic. So it starts with that topic, the establishment of the kingdom, the gathering of the nations, the appointment of the king, the marriage of the king, queen, or the bride. And then Hebrews 12 also deal with the same language at the end. So they are all connected. Everything in between sits within those themes, and they're all end time context. So I'll leave you with that today. That concludes my little summary of today's study. I hope you have a lovely day. Shalom.